From the musical archives of 1993, that was Enigma with Return to Innocence on Freedom FM. And before that, your companion through Sunday evening was Sean and the Old School Show. And he has reminded me that he will be back to see out your Easter Sunday evening next week between 8 and 12. Now, my friends, as midnight ticks on, I want to welcome you to the Way Too Early Night Cruise, your late night retreat where the glow of 90s and noughties romance, relaxing vibes, and chill-out melodies are here to soothe, stir, and sprinkle your night with a little bit of nostalgia. My name's Feargal. I'm going to be your host for the next 2 hours, and I think tonight, my friends, I might have finally cracked the code on a show that's worth staying up for. Fingers crossed, right? But, you know, the night cruise is not just all about music now, is it? Because you need to stick around after 1 a.m. when I'll be testing your musical sleuthing skills with our Love Slowed Down game. While in this hour, it's your chance to spill the beans on what you've been up to over the last 72 hours in our I Know What You Did Last Weekend bit. Now, to get involved in either of those, or simply to get in touch, you can drop me a message on text or WhatsApp to 086 206 8888. That's 086 206 8888. You can send me an email to hello@freedomfm.ie. And for those of you who can't get enough, bless you, you can follow my really boring updates by searching for voice actor Fergs on Threads, Insta, Blue Sky, and says.us. All right, I think we can all agree that's enough rambling out of me for now. So let's kick off this night cruise in 3, 2, 1. It's Freedom FM, and that was Gabrielle with Because of You, a Valentine's gem from way back in 1994. And if I'm saying Valentine's Day gem, it's because that song was released on Valentine's Day back then. Come here to me, because I got a little question for you. How was your weekend? Did it have its moments that made you smile or groan or both? Well, if you're ready to relive the last 72 hours, we would love for you to share your tales in our little Sunday morning segment that we like to call I Know What You Did Last Weekend. So whether you were binge watching your favorite show, catching up with loved ones, or simply cozying up with a good book and a steaming cup of coffee, we are all ears to hear from you. Nothing's too big, nothing's too small, and we're here to celebrate your weekend adventures. And because you really don't want to know, this is how my weekend shaped up. Friday had me over at the Aviva, soaking up the energy as Leinster went head-to-head with Glasgow in the European rugby. Then Saturday started serenely enough with a bit of gardening and ended with a lively family's bash at my cousin's wedding anniversary party. And by Sunday, things slowed to a gentle pace. A stroll with the dog in the afternoon, then coming in here to the studio. Not exactly groundbreaking, but you know what? I enjoyed it. Anyway, as you know, this show is not really about me. It's all about you. So it's your turn. Don't be shy. Grab your phone and send me a text or WhatsApp on 086 206 8888. That's 086 206 8888. Let me know what made your weekend wonderful, wild, or just wonderfully ordinary. Go on. Hit me up. That's Robbie Williams and Better Man on Freedom FM's Night Cruise. Now, listen up for a moment, because if you're commuting home this week by car, bike, or bus, Freedom FM is your go-to for the ultimate 90s and noughties throwback soundtrack, brought to you by our fantastic drive time lineup. Stephen gets you moving on Mondays and Tuesdays. Phil keeps it smooth on Wednesdays and Thursdays, while Robbie wraps up your week in style on Fridays. Tune in and let us make your journey home sing. Now, for some reasons only known to Delta Airlines, they love playing Jason Mraz's I'm Yours as passengers board their flights. And if you know why they do that, well then feel free to enlighten us. Answers on a postcard or sealed down envelope, of course, to Freedom FM somewhere in the Bluebell Industrial Estate in Dublin. Now, before we go any further, let me take a moment to thank everyone who shared their weekend escapades for our I Know What You Did This Weekend bit. And let's start that off by saying a big hello to Fiona Leach down in Cork. And Fiona's been on to say, Feargal, on Saturday, I went with my daughter Sarah to watch the Irish women's rugby team take on England in the Six Nations. It wasn't the result we'd hoped for, but we had a brilliant day out. Fiona, you're spot on. The English may have the upper hand for now, but I'm pretty sure our time is coming. And thank you so much for writing in. Now, sticking with sport, and from over in Bray, Oliver Hobbs has also been in touch. Fergal says, I got home a few hours ago from the National Basketball Arena with my kids James and Ruby. We spent the whole day watching teams battle out for promotion and trophies. It was non-stop action in the final day of the season. I tell you, Oliver, I was following that online and it sounded like an absolute whirlwind of a day. And thank you for sharing. Now, what about you? Yes, you. Whether your weekend was action-packed, totally chilled, or somewhere in between, we want to hear all about it. So drop me a text or WhatsApp to 086 206 8888. That's 086 206 8888. And let's include your story in the final round of I Know What You Did Last Weekend, which is coming right up after we hear a bit of Arcade Fire. That's the Chorus on Freedom FM's Night Cruise, and they will be all over Ireland and the UK this summer with the Outdoor Stadium Tour. And if that wasn't enough, they'll be back sometime in November with an indoor tour. Now, my friends, before we get into the second hour of the Night Cruise, I think we should finish out this morning's I Know What You Did Last Weekend bit, don't you? And first up, I want to say hello to Maggie Thompson in Galway, who dropped me a WhatsApp and said, Feargal, on Saturday, I took my boys, Fred and Jim, to the Lochray Hotel to see Joe the Magician's kids show. Let me tell you, the boys were absolutely enthralled, and even I couldn't believe some of the tricks. Maggie, Joe's brilliant, isn't he? And I tell you, my cousin's grandkids adore him too. And thank you for sharing that magical moment with us. And finally for this morning, let's head up to Belfast, where David Rees wrote in to say, Hey Feargal, on Friday night, my wife Maeve and I went to see Colin Sutton's Making a Murder tour. He's the ex-head of the Met Police Murder Squad. Fascinating stuff, but honestly, we haven't slept proper since. David, I'm sure you have slept all right. Anyway, thank you for tuning in and, of course, sharing your story. Now, to everyone who got in touch, thank you very much, and I apologize if your story didn't make it on air tonight. I wish I could read them all out. And if you enjoyed this bit, well, it'll be back next Monday just after midnight, so make sure to share your weekend adventures with us then. Now, stay tuned because the fun isn't over. Coming up in the next hour, we've got our Love Slowed Down game, so I don't want to hear any of this talk about heading to bed yet. It's far too early.
Now I see.